छोड़ देने में और लग के कर दिखाने में, मान लेने में कि जिंदगी ऐसे ही कटेगी, और सुबह 4 बजे उठ के सोचने में ये अभी तो बस शुरुआत है। किसी मैगजीन को हाथ में लेने में और उसी मैगजीन की कवर पेज पे होने में इतना सा ही तो फर्क है। वीआईपी सीट में और उसकी पिछली सीट में इतना सा ही तो फर्क है। वो जिसका मैदान ही खुला आसमान है, वही कल जमीन पर तो था। पूछोगे तो बताएगा वो पंछी, ये एक दायरे में सिमटने में और पूरी दुनिया को दायरा बनाने में बस इतना सा फर्क है। इतना कितना है? इतना है या इतना है? जो नापेगा वो जाने कि जहां धरती और आसमान मिलते हैं, नानकुर से दूर, अगर मगर शायद से दूर, वहां भी दोनों में फर्क बस इतना सा है। धरती और 7वें आसमान में फर्क बस इतना सा है। ये एक अंतर प्रेरणा है। ये हमारी, आपकी, हम सब की अंतर प्रेरणा है। एक कदम, एक छलांग, एक बाजी, एक गहरी सांस और एक ललकार खुली हवाओं में कि हाँ, मैं बना हूं उन फिजाओं के लिए, कि हाँ, मैं बना हूं उन ऊंचाइयों के लिए जो ऊंची तो बहुत है पर नामुमकिन भी नहीं, क्योंकि मुमकिन और नामुमकिन में बस इतना सा फर्क है। धूप छांव में फर्क बस इतना सा है। तो बस चलिए फ्रेंचाइज इंडिया के साथ ये फर्क मिटा देते हैं। फ्रेंचाइज इंडिया।
Hello and good afternoon, everyone, and thank you so much for joining us on this webinar called Business Opportunity Over Chai. Business Opportunity Over Chai is a webinar series presented by the management of Franchise India every day at 12 o'clock in the afternoon with an aim to introduce you to a new business opportunity. Every day, we bring exciting and high potential franchise business from across the industry. Over the past 28 years, Franchise India has proudly helped thousands of investors find the right business opportunity and successfully start their entrepreneurial journey. Franchise India, as world's largest integrated franchise solution company, our role is to ensure that your investment is safe by taking an informed decision and your journey from an investor to entrepreneur is smooth and successful. The objective of this webinar is to give you a direct connect with the brand founders, the key stakeholders, understand the business opportunity in detail, and openly ask any sort of question which you may have related to franchise, investment, the growth, before you take the actual decision. In today's webinar, we are going to explore an exciting business opportunity with India's most structured children development franchise brand called CureAble. CureAble helps children achieve better development outcomes through a scientific and technology-driven approach. Instead of providing only therapy session, the brand focuses on complete child development with personalized care plan and measurable progress. The brand combines child assessment, the customized development programs, parent involvement, progress tracking, and expert clinical guidance into one organized system. This ensures consistent quality, better result for children, and a scalable business model for franchise partners. With 1,000 plus development journeys, 10,000 plus therapy sessions, 650 therapies, and over 90% parent satisfaction, CureAble has emerged as a trusted brand in the child development ecosystem. Operating with a business model, franchise-owned, franchise-operated, the brands provide end-to-end support, including technology, training, SOP, recruitment, marketing, and ongoing business monitoring, making it a scalable and the impactful healthcare franchise opportunity. And to talk more about this, I'm joined with the founder himself. We have Gurmeet Ji, who's the founder of this brand. We have Krishnakant Singh, who's the CEO. We have Akansha Mishra, who's the admin head. We have Simi Vasu, who's the director of clinical excellence. We have Mili Agarwal, she is the operational manager. We have Bharat Nagpal, who's the chief marketing executive. and Shahrukh, who's the senior counselor and the partnership manager. And we also have from franchise dinner side, we have Krishna Kaushik, who is heading the consulting team at Franco. And we have Kuldeep Singh, who is the key account manager for this brand. But before I, request and welcome Gurmeet ji to talk, to set the context of this overall, the webinar today, I would like to inform all our viewers that in case if you would like to ask any questions related to the brand, the business, I mean, my request is to please keep on sharing it into the Q&A box, and we will take them up once the presentation is over. I may now request Gurmeet ji to take the lead. Let's get started with a little bit of your introduction and this overall, the business idea, how has been the journey so far, and what is the way forward. And then we will move on to the other aspects of this webinar. Yeah, over to you, sir.
Good afternoon, everybody. Ji. First of all, thank you very much for giving us this platform to highlight our services. Uh, uh, Actually, we are all here who are present on this forum. We are all actually are the founders of CureAble. We are not a group of actually, not a group of startup entrepreneurs, I would say. I would say we are a group of passionate parents, doctors, technocrats, and somebody who is thinking about the future. And I think we are sincerely trying to see how we can alleviate the pain of these special need parents by creating a ecosystem which not only gives therapy. I think therapy is a very smaller part of the entire equation. The entire equation of curing is to understand the child's problem, understand the complete environment where the child is surrounded, and then create a program which actually uh, which actually monitors and do not give a expectation to parents, which I think other therapy companies are giving, that we will cure the kid immediately. Some, this is a process, and we want to do a sincere effort to create this environment where child is given an environment to get better over a period of time. And I think the main other advantages are we are bringing technology and very international experiences, the latest technologies. The Simi madam who is here, they are qualified at a very high level of education on child development. So the people here, I would leave the platform to Krish, who is actually the brainchild founder and the concept creator of Curable. We are just supporting his vision, but we are following his lead. So I leave it to Krish to take this lead and give the vision to everybody.
So yeah, thank you, Gurmeet ji. Good afternoon, everyone. Before I tell you guys about Curable, I'd like to begin with a very simple observation. So I think we all know every decade one industry transforms. It moves from being fragmented to being organized. Diagnostics transformed, preschool transformed, fitness transformed. And personally, I believe child development is going through the exact transformation. Not because somebody decided it should be, but because the world around us has changed. Think about childhood today. 20 years ago, life looked very different. Today, families are smaller, both parents are working, urban lifestyles have changed, screens have become a part of everyday life, and parents today are trying to raise their children in an environment that is completely different from the one they themselves grew up in. And I think these changes have accelerated the need for developmental support today. Every day, more and more parents are coming and asking questions like, why isn't my child speaking yet? Why isn't my child responding yet? Why is my child struggling in school? These questions are becoming very, very common. And that tells us something very important. This isn't a temporary trend. This is a category that is evolving. When we first entered this space, we thought our job was just to provide therapy. But very quickly, we understood something and we realized over the span of these years that parents don't come looking for therapy, they come looking for hope. They don't wake up thinking, I hope someone gives my child speech therapy. They wake up thinking, will my child speak? They don't ask where I can find occupational therapy. They ask, will my child become independent? That realization completely changed the way we looked at this industry. That's the day we stopped asking, how do we deliver better therapy? And started asking, how do we develop or build a better child development journey? Because therapy is important. Definitely it is. Speech therapy matters, occupational therapy matters, ABA matters, special education matters. But therapy alone isn't enough. A child spends 45 minutes with a therapist and the rest of the day with the parents. They are in school, they are in their own environment. If all those pieces don't work together, progress slows down. And so we, as a team of experts, of 150 plus experts across Delhi NCR, backed by Stanford backed approach, we built Curable around one belief that therapy is one of the tools we use. Development is the outcome we pursue. That's why Curable is built differently. Every child does not just receive sessions here. Every child follows a structured approach journey. It begins by understanding not just the kid, but also the parents. Then a developmental assessment, then a personalized roadmap, then an intervention, then parent coaching, and then regular interviews and reviews between the parent and the kid and all. So the aim is to create a measurable progress tracking. And when the child reaches the goal we have set together, we celebrate the journey. Because success for us isn't the number of sessions we sell. Success is seeing a child becoming more dependent, more independent than they were yesterday, and less dependent on their outcome, on their surroundings. Everything I have shared so far is our philosophy. The obvious question here is, does this actually works in practice? I'd now like to invite Simi ma'am. She leads clinical excellence at Curable. More importantly, she has lived the journey herself, not just as a therapist, not as a clinician, but as a parent. She'll share how we translate this philosophy into consistent development outcomes for every family, every kid we work with. On to Simi ma'am.
Thank you so much, Krish Gurmeet on Franchisee India for this opportunity. As you all know, my name is Simi Vasu, और इन सब के ऊपर जो मेरा सबसे बड़ी पहचान है, the way I would like to be introduced is I'm a mother of a 21-year-old boy, Karthik Venugopal, with autism. So as Krish says, this journey is not just work or profession for me. It's my passion. It's my life's calling. So, before we start about the clinical part or about curable, I want all of you to understand that when you are getting into this field, especially the field where we are providing, developmental milestones to children. You need to understand when you meet children with autism, every child is unique. मतलब हमारे यहाँ पे कहा जाता है कि there's a saying कि if you meet one child with autism, you have met that one child with autism. And traditionally, what happens is most of the therapy centers needs a child. एक प्रोग्राम बनाया जाता है, थोड़ा ऑब्जर्वेशन होता है, एंड देन सेशंस चल रहे होते हैं. There is no clear milestone. There is no clear progress. There's no clear objective which is shared with the parent. How are we different? Well, what we do is once a child or a family enters curable, सबसे पहली बात है कि the family is treated as a family, not as another client who has entered. They are entering the curable family. They have trusted their child with us. So each one of you, when they enter your premises also, you need to understand you are giving them a lot of hope. They have given you the most precious thing they have, their own child, to you, handed over to you. So what we do here is we sit with the family, our therapist or our, individual therapist we have. Krish has told you about speech and language therapist, ABA therapist. Each one of them, evaluates the child, talks to the parent, tries to understand क्या issues है, क्या concerns है उन parents के, जिस कारण उन्होंने हमें approach किया. And डिस्कशन सिर्फ इश्यूज पे नहीं, बच्चे के स्ट्रेंथ्स पे भी होते हैं. सो दैट इज वन इम्पॉर्टेंट थिंग यू ऑल नीड टू अंडरस्टैंड कि व्हाट आर द स्ट्रेंथ्स एंड व्हाट आर द कंसर्न्स ऑफ द पेरेंट्स. Then consulting the parent, observing the child, taking feedback from all our other therapists, our counselors, design an individualized education plan or a planner as we call it. So क्योरेबल जो है सिर्फ सेंटर बेस्ड नहीं, होम बेस्ड सर्विसेज भी देते हैं हम लोग. हमारे स्कूल पार्टनरशिप्स है, हमारे हॉस्पिटल्स के साथ भी टाइप्स स्टार्ट हो रहे हैं. एवरीवेयर the model which we want to replicate is the same. It is not that if a person goes to one place, he will get a better services. So the key point here is the system. Each one of us follow a structured system. It is not dependent on any individual. So any individual, traditionally क्या होता है, अगर एक अच्छा therapist छोड़ जाएगा तो parents उसी के साथ निकल जाएंगे. Because they trust the therapist more than the system which is provided. Curable wants to change this mindset totally. No system should be dependent on any one person. The child, irrespective of, if the therapist would be there or would not be there, would get the same services all time. इसके अलावा the next thing which we want is आपने goals decide कर लिए, plan बना लिया, बच्चे के साथ sessions भी start हो गए, parents को हम involve करें. One more important thing here is the involvement of the parent. We have a complete transparent system. So parent is equally responsible. बच्चा हमारे पास सिर्फ 45 minutes के लिए है. The rest of the whole day, the child is with the parents. So equipping the parent, equipping the child's school, equipping maybe the sports center where he goes, about the child is also what we take to. And that's how curable is different from the other models, individual centers which we have. And once the plan is done, there is a periodic evaluation. Parent को हमारे साथ बैठ के समझना पड़ता है कि what is the goal we are working on, आपको क्या करना है, और once this goal is achieved, what is the next level. And ये सब standardized protocol है. It is not that कि एक counselor बैठा है वो अपने मन से कर रहा है. There are standardized checklists which are followed world over, and these checklists के हिसाब से ही हम बच्चों का evaluation करते हैं, plan बनाते हैं, प्रोग्रेस रिपोर्ट बनाते हैं, एंड फिर से रिव्यू करते हैं. सो दिस इज समथिंग वी एक्सपेक्ट फ्रॉम ईच वन ऑफ यू, दैट क्वालिटी, द एक्सीलेंट सर्विस एक्सीलेंस वी आर गोइंग टू प्रोवाइड. रेस्ट everything I would like to hand over. This is the clinical part of it, the therapy part of it, and the development part of it. From here, I would like to hand it over to my operations head, Millie. So over to you, Millie.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you, everyone, to give us that opportunity. Thank you, Franchisee India. Thank you, Simi ma'am. Here, Krish sir explained you why Curable exists. Simi ma'am shared how we create developmental outcomes. Now, I would like to answer the something different question here. Like, if I become the Curable franchisee partner tomorrow, what happens next? So that's where exactly the every franchisee decisions are made. So when anyone joins Curable, we just don't give the logo and wish them all the best. We are the partners. We build a system together. So from selecting a location, finalization center, opening a center, launching a center, hiring a team, train the team for every single operational system, we are here to support you. We have a structured framework that everyone follow. So at the end of the day, we can deliver the same result. By this, that's why Curable designed as a system. It's not just a brand. And here, every child receive the same structured journey. Every therapist delivered the same standard outcomes. Every parent received the same experience. That's why here the another largest concern I would say it's a talent. Okay, so parent depend on therapist, center depend on therapist. That's true. We understand that. That's why Curable is here to actively support you to onboarding the therapist, training the team, every developmental process. We are here. So we have created a structured framework for every single uh, step. That's why one another part is here is a technology. Okay. So every process, developmental, training the team, from starting to execution, that all will go through a supportive our system. That support our system will go through a technology because technology doesn't replace people. So if it helps Curable to deliver the same result at the end of the day, and our success is directly linked to your success. Okay. To help the franchisee partners is not just our after sales process. This is actually our core business. This is a part of our core business. So every franchisee outlet or every franchisee partner is a strengthens a Curable network directly. That's why you can spend is your time, energy, you can build your relationship, your network in your city, and we are always there behind you to support you. Now, at the end of the day, our goal is not just to build a center. Our goal is to help you to build a center where families can stay with you for years. That's the difference between open a business or build an institution, right? Anyone, because every entrepreneur has this question in their mind that can I actually build this? So it's honestly, it's a right question. That's why we have system for every step. So I believe that any franchisee should not make you feel alone because we exist, our system exists that will help you to start you will never have to build from scratch, right? So I hope you get my point. And with that, I would like to invite Akansha, who will walk you through the business model of Curable and the economics behind the Curable franchising system. Thank you.
ओके, थैंक यू मिली। गुड आफ्टरनून एवरीवन। सो अभी तक हम लोग ये डिस्कस किए कि वाई क्योरेबल एग्जिस्ट और मतलब उसमें हम लोग कैसे क्रिएट करते हैं डेवलपमेंटल आउटकम्स एंड हाउ वी हेल्प फ्रेंचाइजीज पार्टनर बिल्ड एंड ऑपरेट अ सक्सेसफुल सेंटर। नाउ आई लाइक टू आंसर द मोस्ट प्रैक्टिकल क्वेश्चन, क्या ये बिजनेस मतलब सेंसिबल है, वर्थ इट है? बिकॉज अल्टीमेटली A franchisee should create impact. It should create a sustainable business. कुछ ऐसा business जो long term में हम लोग के साथ रहे, ना कि short term. क्योंकि शॉर्ट टर्म अगर जो विजन होता है वो अल्टीमेटली फेल हो जाता है और उस पर कोई इम्पैक्ट नहीं पड़ता, ना ही सोसाइटी पे, ना ही पर्सनल पे. तो हम लोग कुछ ऐसे मतलब बिजनेस पे हम लोग वर्क कर रहे हैं जो कि एक लॉन्ग टर्म में हम लोग के लिए एक सस्टेनेबल ग्रोथ दे, सस्टेनेबल ग्रोथ इन टर्म्स ऑफ सोसाइटी, इन टर्म्स ऑफ चाइल्ड डेवलपमेंट एंड एवरीथिंग. तो हम लोग जैसे कि मतलब हम लोग अपने फ्रेंचाइजीज की बात करें तो क्योरेबल फ्रेंचाइजीज फॉलोज अ फोफो मॉडल. जैसे कि आप लोग अपने हमारे स्क्रीन पे भी देख पा रहे हैं, ये एक फोफो मॉडल पे रन करेगा. टू इलैबोरेट इट मोर, फोफो मीन्स फ्रेंचाइजीज ओन, फ्रेंचाइजीज ऑपरेटेड. That means the franchisee's partner owns and operates the business, while Curable will operate the operating system, its brand, the clinical framework, technology, or training and ongoing support. So the total investment required to establish a CDC will be approximately around rupees 33.85 lakh. जैसे कि आप लोग पाई चार्ट में देख पा रहे हैं उसकी डिवीजन. तो जो डिवीजन है 33.85 लाख आपके ये सब में इंक्लूड करेगी फ्रेंचाइजीज फीस, सेंटर सेटअप एंड इंटीरियर्स, थेरेपी इक्विपमेंट, टेक्नोलॉजी और ब्रांडिंग, इनिशियल वर्किंग कैपिटल पे. So we believe healthcare business should be built for the long term. That is why we have designed the investment keeping sustainability, not shortcuts in mind. Now let's understand how the business generates revenue. रेवेन्यू की अब जब बात करें तो आप स्क्रीन पे भी देख पा रहे होंगे. द फाउंडेशन ऑफ दिस मॉडल इज अ रिकरिंग एंगेजमेंट. फैमिलीज डोंट कम फॉर अ सिंगल विजिट, दे कम बिकॉज चाइल्ड डेवलपमेंट इज अ जर्नी. एक बच्चे के डेवलपमेंट आप एक दिन में नहीं देख सकते, इट टेक्स मंथ्स. सो हर दिन इम्पोर्टेंट है एक बच्चे की जर्नी के लिए, उसकी डेवलपमेंट के लिए. हर एक दिन, हर एक आवर इम्पोर्टेंट है. आप उसको कैसे केटर कर रहे हैं, क्या उसको प्रोवाइड किया जा रहा है, एवरीथिंग इज इम्पोर्टेंट टू सी अ चेंज इन द चाइल्ड. सो मेच्योर सेंटर जो डिजाइन होती है वो अप्रोक्सीमेटली अराउंड 60 एक्टिव चिल्ड्रन को इन्वॉल्व करती है, विद एन एवरेज मंथली रेवेन्यू ऑफ अप्रोक्सीमेटली रुपीज 12,000 पर चाइल्ड. द सेंटर क्रिएट्स अ स्ट्रॉन्ग रिकरिंग रेवेन्यू बेस. बियॉन्ड दैट आपका जो एडिशनल रेवेन्यू स्ट्रीम्स है आप देख पा रहे हैं स्क्रीन पे, इट इंक्लूड्स डेवलपमेंटल असेसमेंट्स, रीअसेसमेंट्स, पेरेंट प्रोग्राम्स, ग्रुप प्रोग्राम्स, स्कूल रेडीनेस प्रोग्राम्स, home support services where applicable. This creates a diversified revenue model instead of depending on only one service. बहुत ही diversified revenue model हमारी create हुई. Now, one thing I would like to highlight is this: the strength of this business isn't one month's revenue. The strength of this business is continuity. When families trust the center, they continue, they refer. वो लोग अपने बच्चे को तो सुधार करवाएंगे ही, साथ में सोसाइटी में भी हमारा वो ब्रांड को मतलब और फैलाएंगे कि हाँ इस सेंटर में मैंने विजिट किया और ये सेंटर पे हमारा किड एक अच्छे मुकाम पे पहुंच गया, जहाँ वो सफर कर रहा था अब वो स्लोली स्लोली वो रिकवरी स्टेज पे आ गया एंड अब उसके अंदर एक ग्रोथ दिख रही है. तो वो डिस्कस करेंगे अपने सोसाइटी पे. दे बिकम एडवोकेट्स. दैट्स व्हाट मेक्स दिस मॉडल स्ट्रॉन्गर ओवर टाइम. Now, we are not designing this only for one successful center. Our systems have been built so that partners who execute well have the opportunity to expand into multiple centers over time. हमारे जो विजन है वो एक पर्टिकुलर सेंटर के लिए नहीं है, हमारा मल्टीपल सीडीसीज हम लोग को डेवलप करना है. हमारा विजन ये है ताकि हम लोग ऐसे बहुत सारे बच्चे को केटर करें और हेल्प प्रोवाइड कर सके. बिकॉज पेरेंट्स बहुत ही सफर करते हैं, पेरेंट्स का दर्द एक पेरेंट ही समझ पाएगा. एंड आई होप आप लोग सब यहाँ पे कुछ ना कुछ पेरेंट ही होंगे, और अगर आप वो उस जगह पे होते तो आप वो दर्द को समझ पा रहे होंगे. सो एवरी एडिशनल सेंटर बेनिफिट्स फ्रॉम एग्जिस्टिंग ऑपरेटिंग सिस्टम्स, ब्रांड ट्रस्ट, रिक्रूटमेंट सपोर्ट, टेक्नोलॉजी, क्लिनिकल गवर्नेंस, which reduces the complexity of expansion compared to starting from scratch. So when we look at Curable, we don't see a child development center. हम लोग एक CDC नहीं है, हम लोग एक ecosystem है. We see a professionally managed business built on recurring relationships, structured systems, and long-term demand. हमारा ये वो है कि हमारा विजन है कि हमारा लॉन्ग टर्म तक जो डिमांड है वो फैले across Delhi NCR, across Pan India, and across India. So now I would like to invite Krishna back to conclude today's presentation and share we believe this journey is actually heading. That's all. Thank you.
Thank you, Akansha. Before we move to your questions, I'd like to leave you with one final thought. So, throughout today's presentation, we have spoken about child development, therapy, systems, technology, operations, and business. But I don't personally think that's what today's conversation was all about. I think today's conversation was about a choice between building another center or building something or becoming a part of something that outlives us. Every decade, one category quietly changes, not because someone announces it, but because the world changes, family change, cities change, the ecosystem that is surrounding us is changing. The way children are growing up is changing. The challenge a parent is facing today is changing. And when that happens, an entirety of new institutions are born. And we believe child development is at that exact moment. The question isn't whether this category will grow or not. The question is whether the growth of this category will be provided with the right solution, with the right system, and who is building it. Will it remain fragmented? Will it remain dependent on individuals? Or will it be dependent where every center is trying to solve the same problem, hiring alone, training alone, learning alone, making all those same mistakes alone and trying to figuring it out again, stuck in the same loop, not doing the right justice to the parent, to the kid, and to the society? Or will we build something bigger, way bigger, a network where knowledge is shared, where a system is existing that makes sure every kid, every parent, every family gets the right justice to the years, to the efforts, to the money, to everything that they're spending behind their kid, where the standards are shared, where the learning is shared, where the success is shared. Because over the last few years, we have learned something that completely changed how we used to think about therapy and child development. Most people believe great child development centers have or are dependent on great therapists. We have learned something very different. The future of child development will not be built by good or great therapists. It will be built by great and better systems. The systems that can be replicated, the systems that can be scaled, the systems that should tell the parent the exact point, the exact journey of their kid, where what is happening, and the system that can be replicated and copied in a larger ecosystem that is not just constrained within a particular area, that can help ordinary people consistently deliver extraordinary outcomes. That's why our ambition or what we are creating at as Curable has never become to become the biggest therapy company. No, we don't want that. our ambition is way bigger, to build India's most trusted child development ecosystem. The one every kid, every parent, every franchisee partner, or every individual or institute that has been associated with can vouch on. A place where every parent, whether they are in Noida, Delhi, Bengaluru, or any city tomorrow, knows exactly what they will experience. The same philosophy, the same standards, the same system, the same commitment, and the same results. This is what Curable is building. This is what Curable has built over years, including a database of more than 150 plus experts catering over 10,000 plus hours of sessions with more than 1,000 kids across Delhi NCR with more than 90% of success rate. The same hope, because when a parent walk through our doors, they are not trusting us with a therapy session or a therapeutic approach. They are trusting us with the future of their kid. And that responsibility alone deserves more than good intent. It deserves systems. It deserves the approach with which each parent should be catered, irrespective of the place, irrespective of the ecosystem, irrespective of the individual they are being associated with their kid. If they are in what Curable believes, if they are associated with us in any way, they should get the same delivery, same quantity, same result, same success, irrespective of their ecosystem. It deserves consistency. So that's it deserves accountability. So that's what we have spent the last few years building. And that's what I think Curable stands for today. And we are, as franchisee partners, just to sum it up, we are simply looking for people who believe the future of child development should not be fragmented but structured, as this is kind of changing. And as you guys are completely aware about the surroundings and what is happening, everything is in a very revolutionizing phase and everything is changing so fast that there needs to be a structure and system around that. And who believe the future should be built that way. If you believe that as well, we'd be honored to build it with you. Thank you. We'd love to hear your questions.
Right, thank you so much, Chandkanji, for
Bharat,
yeah,
if I may conclude
please.
in a very different way. Obviously, we are at this forum of franchisee for Curable, but the basic journey of Curable is to address this market. Actually, around we see that close to 3 to 4 million kids in India suffer from special, who may need special needs. And there are a lot of different, systems which are there to help these type of children, but they are all very fragmented. So our main interest is, first of all, the awareness is becoming a lot of awareness is coming into the market that there are cures for these type of children. Earlier these were not openly discussed, and I think with that brings a lot of opportunity to cure. And I think another thing which Curable brings to the table is the international experience. So when Krish and Simi Madam, we are talking about the 150 strong therapists and doctors and people who are associated with big hospitals who refer to our programs. So I think that entire ecosystem is there to see the complete overall performance of the kid. And we are bringing a lot of technology, new technology evolution, which is happening in the field of science and development, and also in the field of how these services are developed and delivered. So we are monitoring the performance of each kid closely and keeping the communication line with the parents very active. So that keeps them engaged, that okay, this is what the performance is. So our advantage is just not a therapy center. Our advantage is the entire, first of all, the advanced knowledge, the cutting edge knowledge which is happening in the world right now. Our therapists, our doctors are engaged with that knowledge. The systems which the technology systems which we have built to cater, to communicate, and to keep track of the progress of the children is very advanced technology. We are keeping record of what everything is doing going, and in coming times we can even go to the predictive analysis stage as well, where we can add more things to the platform, add more value to our customers. And overall, our mission is to cure 2 million kids in India.
Right. Thanks so much, Gurmeet ji, for your valuable words. Um, in case if you look into the overall the opportunity, I think India is one of the most fastest growing market for the children development and the early intervention services. We have a lot of millions of children living in India, and awareness among the parents about the development delays, autism, speech delays, the learning disabilities, and a lot of challenges are increasing rapidly. At the same point of time, the availability of organized child development centers is very limited, and that creates a huge gap between the demand and the quality services. Studies, says that 1 in every 8 children, which is almost like 13 to 18%, may experience some form of neurodevelopmental disorders, which while the around 1 in 65 Indian children aged from 2 to 9 years are estimated to be on the autism spectrum, representing 1.8 to 1 to 2 million children across the country. That's a huge number. Experts constantly emphasize that the early diagnosis and the structural intervention leads to significantly better development outcomes, drives more families to seek professional support. And this is exactly where CureAble stands out. Instead of offering only therapy session, the brands provide a structured child development system with technology-enabled assessment, personalized development plan, and parent involvement. That is very important. I mean, we must involve parents. I think on this, Simi ma'am can add more on this. That how important it is to include parents, in this overall, the therapy process. Right. And the process, and apart from that, there is also, they also follow a tracking system. So though they look into all the progress tracking through the clinical governance. And this creates the best outcome for the children while building a scalable and reoccurring revenue business for franchise partners. This brand is primarily, though we are open for the other cities as well. However, we've started with our first phase to catering only to the Delhi NCR market, right? So if anyone is from the Delhi NCR region, you all can get in touch with us. We have Mr. Kuldeep Singh, who is the key account manager for this brand. Kuldeep, in case if you could just share your number in the chat box. So anyone who's interested to go for this brand, I think you can get in touch with Kuldeep, and Kuldeep is going to help you, further aligning your meeting with the stakeholders. and where you can get all all your doubts cleared. I understand that. I mean, 50-60 minutes is not good enough to understand the overall business and the different aspects of the franchise business. So discussing the entire business model, the opportunity, assessing the every aspects of the business on a separate call will be the best idea. So my request is to please get in touch with Kuldeep, and Kuldeep will align your call with the brand team, and they're going to help you understand more on this, with the more deep dive knowledge about how both can take advantage of this growing the problem in the society right now. Right. So, I mean, a lot of people are seeking for these kind of centers where they can get their, the problem fixed. However, we really have very less number, right, of centers which they offer these kind of solutions. So with increasing awareness, the high disposable income, the shortage of organized child development centers are creating a strong demand for entrepreneurs, those who are looking to build a purpose-driven business with a long-term growth and a social impact. I think Curable offers one of the most promising franchise opportunity in the northern part of India region in the healthcare sector. So in case if you want, you can get in touch with Kuldeep. Kuldeep, if you could also share your name. Yeah, all right. So the Kuldeep has shared his number in the chat box, and you all can note it down, and you may immediately connect with him after this webinar. We are live right now, and in case if you want any question, if you have any question, you can of course share it in the chat box. I can see a few questions. Maybe Akansha, if you could just answer it verbally, so that other people can also understand. Or maybe
Yeah,
Simi
yeah,
ma'am,
sure.
in case if you would like to take any of these questions.
I can't see the
Yeah, so
questions
the
here.
can I lead it? The
Yeah,
first
why not?
question
Yeah.
which is asked by Nitin Malhotra, that how many children are allocated to each teacher or therapist, right?
Mhm.
I think so. The That's a very good question. We don't allocate centers simply based on a fixed distance or arbitrary numbers. Evaluate each city based on its population, demand, demographics, accessibility.
Okay.
Just a second. Wait, just a second. Just a second.
Bharat, I'm not able to see the questions. Am I
It
doing
is there in the
something wrong?
Q&A. If you will click on the Q&A option, then you will find it.
How many kids are?
Bharat, I will take this question, and if you could just help me with this. Now, the first question which you have, how many kids are allocated to each therapist? Well, in a therapy center, what happens is the sessions are done one-on-one. So what happens every time when a child enters, there is a 45-minute slot, 45 minutes to 1 hour based on each center's work. But what we follow in Curable is 45-minute session. So one therapist, one child. So for that 45 minutes, be it the occupational therapist or be it the speech and language pathologist or the ABA therapist, whoever is it, completely dedicates his time to that child. They will be devising all the games, all the educational material for that 45 minutes to teach the child. And here, please understand, it's not conventional paper pencil teaching. The teaching involves a lot of multisensory approach. Now, what do I mean by multisensory approach? You will be using a lot of teaching learning materials. You will be using a lot of toys to teach children. So the basic idea is you make the session very interactive, very engaging for the child, so that the child picks up. It is not the conventional classroom teaching. So one therapist, one child.
Perfect. So, what are the operating days, per week for the
Yes,
centers?
it is Monday to Saturday, Saturdays are the days when we keep a group session, basically for children with autism. You know, the group interaction or the social interaction doesn't happen naturally. It's not incidental learning. So we contrive situations. We, come up with role plays and all in a group environment. So we will pair children who have the similar skill set. And Saturdays, the group sessions happen. There would be a senior group, there would be a junior group, and so that's a half day. So typically, yeah, Monday to Saturday.
And Bharat, all these programs are defined, and they don't have to, the franchisee owners, they don't have to build. These are all structured program already built in our system. So our system is a, SaaS-based platform which is totally integrated seamlessly with the communication system, with therapy, with integration, with quality performance. It is in.
Yeah, please go ahead.
Yeah, and that system is the actually the heart of the entire curable system, which helps us remove the dependency of the child development from a therapist and move that dependency to a system.
There is one more question. Is daycare program also part of the service provided? Nitin, by the daycare program, if you're talking about the early intervention services, which is a comprehensive all four therapies given 5 days a week, yes, then that is also a part of the services which we provide. But daycare, as in the creche, I kind of think no, that is not a part. Daycare here would mean school readiness program or the early intervention program.
Right. So hope that answers your question. And for more information, I think I would request you to please get in touch with Kuldeep. Kuldeep is going to help you better. Okay. So there another question in case if you would like to answer. Please mention the persona of children coming for treatment. Means children with what kind of issues and the age?
Uh, the children we cater to are basically children with autism, intellectual disability, specific learning disabilities, wherein you must have heard about dyslexia, which Tare Zameen Pe, made it very popular. And yeah, ADHD, attention deficit hyperactive disorder, ADD, attention deficit disorder. So these are the cases we handle at Curable.
Also, it is not just limited to the cases that Simi ma'am has mentioned, but recently, because of what we are seeing is development delay cases where the kid is not getting the speech, not getting the right behavior, not getting the focus in academics, and not able to cope up with the curriculum, or there are some social mingling issues as well. So these are also the parts where we are seeing a lot of spike in cases. So in addition to what terms has been used, that autism, ADHD, the development dyslexia and all, development delay is something we are seeing a lot recently. So yeah, that's also something to put emphasis on. Yeah.
All right. Thanks a lot. Hope that answers your question, Mr. Lingmurthy. Um, Right. So as I was saying that, I mean, in case if anyone want more, deep dive knowledge about the overall business opportunity, my request is to please get in touch with Kuldeep, and he's going to help you better assist, with all your queries, on a separate call. So I think that's it for the day. Thanks so much, everyone, for joining this. I really appreciate Gurmeet ji for coming, for joining this webinar and setting the context. That was really great. And I would also like to thank all the panelists, Simi ma'am, Krishna sir, Bharat, Mili, Kuldeep, and Akansha for joining this webinar. And Hope everyone is have got an idea about what this is really important thing that we don't address, right? This is something which is really growing. These kind of problem in children development is really growing in our society. However, a lot of people either deny or don't go for any for the therapy. But I think these kind of centers, the organized, the professional centers are absolutely there to help you. And for those who want to become a partner in their success journey, can get in touch with Kuldeep. So I think that's it for the day, everyone. Thank you so much. See you tomorrow once again with a new brand, and we'll explore another business opportunity. Till then, take care. Have a nice day ahead. Bye-bye.